I saw the end of the world. I woke up to screams. Loud, terrible screams. Not from far away, but close, right outside my door. I could hear my neighbor wailing, his voice breaking like a child's. I ran outside, and that's when I saw it. The sky was burning. Not like a sunset, not like fire from a house. The whole sky was red, like blood had been poured over the clouds. It moved, like something alive. The sun had turned black, but somehow, everything was still bright. The ground shook beneath my feet, making my bones rattle. People were running. Some were praying, some were shouting, but most just ran. It didn't matter where. The animals screamed too, dogs, goats, even the birds in the trees. They all knew something was coming. And then we saw them. From the sky, things began to fall. At first, they looked like stars, burning bright as they dropped toward us. But as they got closer, we saw what they really were. They had wings. Huge, black wings like bats, but their faces, oh God, their faces. They looked human, but wrong. Twisted, hateful, their eyes glowing like hot coals. They didn't land like birds. They crashed into the earth, sending dirt and stone flying. Then they stood up, stretching their wings and looking around, like they were searching for someone. They found us. One of them pointed at a man who had fallen to his knees, his hands raised toward the sky. The thing smiled, showing long, jagged teeth, then raised its arm. Before I could blink, a sword of light shot from its hand, and the man exploded into ash. That's when I knew. This was it. The war. The one that had been warned about for centuries. Armageddon. It started 3 nights ago. I was walking home late from the market when I saw an old man sitting by the roadside. He had no shoes, no bag, just a long white robe and a beard that reached his chest. I wouldn't have stopped, but he spoke my name. Samuel. I froze. I had never seen this man before. How do you know my name? I asked. He smiled, but his eyes were sad. I have seen you before, in a different time. Something about the way he spoke made my skin crawl. I looked around, suddenly feeling nervous. The street was empty. It was too quiet. Even the insects had stopped making noise. What do you want? I asked. He sighed, looking up at the sky. The war is coming. My heart skipped. What war? The last war, he said. The one that ends all things. He stood up, and for the first time, I noticed his feet weren't touching the ground. My mouth went dry. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. You must listen, the man said. What you choose will decide your fate. I swallowed hard. Choose what? The right side. Then, before I could ask anything else, he was gone. Just disappeared. Like he had never been there. I ran home, my heart pounding. I wanted to believe it was a dream, a trick of my tired mind. But that night, the real nightmares began. I saw the war. The angels and the demons. I saw cities burning, oceans rising, mountains crumbling like sand. I heard the cries of those who begged for mercy but found none. And I saw him. A man, riding a white horse, his robe dipped in blood. His face was hidden by light so bright I couldn't look at it, but I knew who he was. Jesus Christ. Not the gentle shepherd from the church paintings. No, this was the warrior, the king, the judge. His eyes burned with fire, and in his hand was a sword that shone like the sun. Behind him, an army stretched as far as I could see, all dressed in white, all riding horses of fire. The ground split open beneath them, swallowing the demons whole. The sky tore apart, and through it, something darker than the night itself tried to break through. But the warrior raised his sword, and with a single word, the darkness shattered. I woke up screaming. I didn't sleep again. And then, tonight, the sky turned red. Just like in the dream. The war had begun. I ran. I didn't know where, but my feet moved on their own. Around me, people were crying, calling for their families, falling to their knees. The air was thick, like something heavy was pressing down on us. Then a sound filled the air. A voice. Deep, powerful, like thunder wrapped in fire. It is time. My knees buckled. The earth shook so hard I thought it would break open. In the sky, something moved. A crack of white light split through the red clouds, opening wider and wider. And then, he stepped through. Jesus. The same as in my dream. His white robe, his burning eyes, his sword shining in his hand. His army followed, moving like a storm, their armor glowing with holy fire. The demons shrieked, their wings flapping wildly as they charged forward. And then the battle began. I don't have the words to describe it. Lightning flashed, fire rained from the sky, the earth split apart, swallowing entire buildings. The air was filled with the sound of battle, swords clashing, wings beating, voices screaming.